I think you have to be ready with all the content before prelims exam. It is better even for the mains exclusive that you keep all your resources and content ready for it. Any test series that you are comfortable with or you think that is working for you, you can join the test series. Optional is your game. I would say for your rank, it is the most important one. My strategy for optional: previous year papers, toppers answers, enriched material, to make sure that everything that comes in the newspaper, I think of a sociological angle. Do not just rely on your class notes, or do not just rely on anything that is just available to you freely in the market. Do not ever leave any question unattempted. Hello everyone, my name is Meghna Kavli. I am holding a rank of 83 in CSE 2020. I am from Hyderabad, Telangana. A brief introduction about me. I have done my schooling, everything from Hyderabad. Then BTech I've done from NIT Warangal from 2012 to 2016 in electrical department. Then I moved on to do my MBA from IIM Lucknow, finished it up in 2018. Then I took up a job for 1 year in ITC as a marketing manager in Bangalore. Then around in 2019 March, I left my job and started preparing for UPSC from May-June 2019, and 2020 has been my first attempt in UPSC. My optional is sociology. So coming to the session, today I'd like to talk about my main strategy, what worked for me, and briefly about how I prepared on current affairs and the exam pattern as such. So when I started my preparation in June 2019, it had taken up a lot of time for me to develop the command on UPSC. Particularly, I was not understanding what UPSC was asking for. So this is a problem I had faced, and many of the people were also facing, I observed, is that the difference between prelims, mains, interview, and what is UPSC asking in each and every phase. So I'll try to briefly touch on it. So in the prelims phase, it's mostly extensive. You have to go and touch upon a lot of subjects, especially in 2021 prelims. I've seen that sports has also been asked. So your current affairs, newspapers, the static part, and the general awareness, like what UPSC gives up in the syllabus sheet itself, that the general awareness on each of the subjects is very important. And themes, there are recurring themes in prelims. Like we see the agriculture, science and technology is gaining more and more weightage in prelims. So for prelims, what I would suggest is go extensive in covering the subjects. Be very thorough in your static subjects like polity, economics and history. For history, your NCERTs are very important. Old NCERTs, the themes NCERTs are very important. The geography, again I went for NCERTs. If you have time, I would suggest that you go and do the 6th to 12th NCERTs for history, and even if geography, you can do the same if you have time. And then coming to polity, I have done Lakshmikant only. I have not done any other books. And coming to economy, I have done the old NCERT book on macroeconomics. And then I touched upon current affairs and the current affairs materials that I prepared, or any coaching institute for that sake you can consider for economics. Economics is mostly dynamic. And apart from the static part in economics, I would suggest that economic survey and budget are very important to cover, and the schemes also are very important to cover apart from the static subject in economics. Then coming to agriculture, agriculture is a subject I believe that we have to start taking up agriculture as a subject in prelims and mains. For prelims, my agriculture subject, the go-to book was the newspaper, and the second one is the State of Agriculture report and the government website on agriculture. So there are many maps in the government websites about agriculture, which will help us in having a brief idea of the crop pattern, the crop seasons, and what all are needed, what all are the schemes used in agriculture. So that itself I believe is more or less important in agriculture. And the science and technology part, For that, I think NCERTs are also helpful, especially the 6th to 12th on the topics of biotechnology, information technology, then some of the Hindu paper mein there's a Sunday edition on which science and technology comes up. So even though the questions are not direct, but such understanding and articles on Hindu paper always help in eliminating options. And NASA schemes and ISRO schemes are also, missions are also very important. They'll help us eliminate a lot of options, if not give the direct answer. So science and technology has been mostly current affairs, and to have the basic understanding, please do your NCERTs, they'll be really of good help. And the other parts of prelims, current affairs, I have not made notes out of prelims from my newspaper. I picked up any coaching material and have revised. So more and more revision is important. Apart from these reports, indices, institutions, international institutions have also been important in my prelims journey and had helped me. Like G20 was a question directly in 2020 prelims. This has been mostly for my prelims GS1. And CSAT, I believe, is getting more and more complex, and so we have to increase this time spent on CSAT. And so the maths, logical part, and verbal are the three components of it. For CSAT, I believe it is not the content which is lacking, rather the time. So start with your best section. For me, data analysis were the easiest and the best for me. So I would always start with data analysis, so that the maximum that I would get and the maximum that I score will be the most positive and not go on negative terms. And also what happens in data is, if you solve one question, there are 4 or 5 questions, the next 2-3 questions are always in relation with the paragraph. So if you can spend 5 minutes on one question, you can get 3 or 4 questions, same pattern in the next paragraph. So that is why I always went with data. If at all you are not comfortable with data, you can go with verbal as well. But whatever it is, you have to start with your core strength. Even in GS1 paper, I would suggest in prelims, just go through the paper in 5 minutes. You will understand which sections have come easy. Like in my 2020 prelims, polity has been the most easiest part. So if suppose someone has started with polity in the first beginning slot itself, he or she would have started it with utmost confidence and gotten it mostly right. If at all you pick up that section which is easier, which has come easier and is also comfortable for you, in the end, in that panicky mode, it becomes very difficult to get the easiest one also right. So for GS1 paper and CSAT paper, it is always important that we go with the most easiest and the most comfortable sections, because on the D-Day, these small things also matter. So this has been a brief journey about how I did my prelims. And then coming to my mains strategy. For mains, I had started writing my answers before prelims because of COVID. Because of COVID, I had gotten 3 months extra. So those 3 months I had taken up time to write my answer writing for GS1, for the GS and essay and optional. So optional, I think you have to be ready with all the content before prelims exam. So even though you've started writing the answers in optional or not, so before prelims, your optional material and what all you need to learn have to be there before the prelims, so that you do not have to waste time in gathering resources for optional, especially later on. So I suggest that you divide your timeline into prelims, the period before prelims, the period before mains and prelims, and then it is your interview period. So before prelims, the important aspect is that your resources have to be sorted. We cannot waste time running for resources. What I mean by resources is any value addition material that you need. Keep them in mind, get them with you as a Xerox notes or any online material, whatever it is, have it in before the prelims itself. All your optional classes if you're taking up classes, if you're only having study material, your optional study material, everything has to be sorted before prelims. And now when it comes to mains, I divided my mains into 3 things specially. One is pre plus mains. So this includes those areas which are common with the prelims and mains part. I'll call it P plus sum. So this is one part of it. The second part is mains exclusive. The mains exclusive has essay, GS4 and all the other parts like agriculture. Agriculture now is in prelims also. Your defense, cyber security, world history, all of these parts come under mains exclusive. The other GS1 of geography, history, polity and economics are all in GS plus 3 part, GS plus mains, and third part, the third and the final leg of your mains is optional. So these are the 3 topics, 3 important legs of mains, and my strategy has been divided into these 3 legs and different for these 3 legs. Before prelims, I kept all my sources for all the 3 legs sorted. I did not look for resources later. For optional, before prelims, I had given 1 or 2 tests, not much. And the exclusive part, mains exclusive, I had just kept my resources at one point and I did not really understand what to do with mains exclusive before my prelims, but I think it's a mistake. I would not want you people to make the mistake, so it is better to keep your mains exclusive part also done before your prelims. Till 2018 and 19, I believe ethics and essay was not taken as a serious subject, but it has to be dealt as seriously as all the GS subjects because it is also one of the scoring subjects. It is better even for the mains exclusive that you keep all your resources and content ready for it. Between my prelims and mains period, what I started doing is I started revising all of my resources very well, and secondly start joining a test series. Any test series that you are comfortable with or you think that is working for you, you can join the test series. Try and analyze how you're presenting. Your presentation is of utmost importance. I'll come back to presentation in a bit. And when it comes to my strategy, I always believe there are strengths and weaknesses in each and every person according to the subject what it needs for. So one of my strengths has been creativity. So I was told this in the very beginning in my test series that being creative has helped me. So I tried using the same strategy of creativity in my all GS papers. What I mean by creativity is, suppose you're reading something in the newspaper. So I clearly remember there was this article by an SDM ma'am in Maharashtra about COVID vaccination. So in COVID vaccination, if at all that comes for our GS paper, we would write that in a tribal area, if you want the COVID vaccination drive to be done successfully, we'd say that the trust between the government and the tribals have to be built in. And we try to improve the trust, and that's how we're going to take forward the vaccination drive. But that looks like a very vague statement. You have to be more specific and try to add in a little bit of your lively touch, that creative part. So this article, ma'am has mentioned that what actually the tribals needed in that area is not that a DM or a Gram Panchayat person would come and take the vaccination with them. That's not what they were looking for. But what they were scared were, if they put the vaccine and within a week or 10, if something happens to them, will they have the access to the government hospital? Will they have access to travel to the nearby town? This is what they were scared of. So what the government has done at that point of time is after the 5 days or 7 days, they made sure and went and checked in those first people who have taken that vaccination. So when the other people in the tribal areas have seen that the government is taking care and is ready to help out if someone is facing any issue, that's when that trust has built up. So if you can give such small examples which are real, which happen and which are doable, those kind of points will really help in enriching your main answers. So one of the major points, can I write over here? One of the main points is creativity, and this creativity comes up if you are doing your newspapers rigorously. Newspapers really help in understanding the crux of the issue and getting to the point straight. And also your government reports are very important in starting an answer. Everyone has by now known that in a GS answer you have to start with a good introduction, body, and then a conclusion. For an introduction, suppose we want to start with a proper factual information or a detailed explanation or definition of a point. So for all the data points, you can actually refer the government websites or government data points that you'll get in the report. The government reports of agriculture, women, and international relations. For international relations, I have gone through the Ministry of External Affairs website. So these have been very helpful for me. And another point which had really helped me in my main strategy is focus points. So what I mean by focus points is, I had done a small exercise which I will try and explain in short here. So take up the GS1 syllabus sheet or GS2 syllabus sheet or GS3 syllabus sheet. Write down all the pointers of this syllabus sheet in one by one. Say suppose in the first thing in GS1, the first thing is ancient art and culture. Then you have modern history, personalities. And then it says the events, world history, women, issues, challenges, something like that. It comes out something like that. So I had taken up question papers from 2014 and tried to write down wherever the question had appeared. So I say suppose in 2014 there was a question asked on art and culture. So I'd write down art and culture 2014 over here. So 15 over here, there's another question. Then if you do this exercise from 2014 or 13 to 2020, what you will find is clusters. Say in women, in world history, you will only find a question in 2015, 17, that's it. But in women, you will see 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So it's a cluster. Wherever you find such clusters, that is called a focus point, a focus area of UPSC, where you can definitely predict a question that would be asked on that paper. If not directly on women, at least something which is relevant or near to women's issues is definitely asked. So for those focus points, what I did was I made an Evernote notes in brief, in detail. So around 20 to 25 pages on women. What all notes I made on women were their data points like women in parliament, women in education, women in economy, all the reports, gender gap report, gender empowerment indices, and then I made on case studies, how are women doing well, SHG case studies like Kudumbashree example of that sort, and then how are women doing in the other countries, how can we improve our status, say suppose in the Scandinavian countries, how are the women doing, and what is the issues in our country and women in a patriarchy sense. So in that way, I made around 20-25 pages notes, and these focus points are definitely going to help you in your answers, in your mains answers. At least 2 or 3 questions you will definitely be able to use this data points from those answers. How I get the data points is one from my class notes, second is from newspaper. Every day when I am reading newspaper, if there are any points on these focus points, I'll give you a few examples of focus points. One will be women, others are climate change, water, then internal security, cyber and technology is also one part which is becoming a focus point of UPSC. Vulnerable sections, education and health are also focus points. Once you do the exercise that I have told you, you will yourself be able to understand what are the focus points. Once you get the focus points, make sure you do all the value addition that you can by newspapers, by government reports, by indices, and by your class notes, if at all you have class notes, or any coaching material notes. By this way, I have done my preparation for my pre and mains wala part and the mains exclusive part apart from essay and GS4. For essay, I have taken coaching in GS Core in MK Jha sir. I have written 2 or 3 full length essay papers, around 4 or 6 essays. In them, I was able to answer and understand what is needed in essay, had gotten detailed feedback. So in that sense, I was able to understand my strength, that is creativity, and then I used detailed introductions and powerful introductions in essays. That was been my major points. So in essay, I believe it is very important to have a powerful introduction. Don't just go by quotes. If you are not comfortable by quotes, go by short stories. Do not write very long stories in introduction. Try to keep them as crisp as possible. If you are not able to find short stories or quotations, you can go by current affairs also, what's coming in the newspaper or a historical fact, anything, but it has to be very powerful in your introduction. And then in your body, try to be making a point and then critically analyze the topic, especially in the philosophical essays and the other section, which is section B, where certain topics are picked and asked. In those, the critical analysis should be the body, and in the conclusion, it will be very well appreciated if you can connect the conclusion to the introduction, the powerful introduction that you can give to. So this has been my strategy for essay, that I go up with a powerful introduction. My main body would have been critical analysis, and in the conclusion, I link up my conclusion with the introduction. This has been my strategy. And also, if you see the essay paper, it is coming in 2 sections. One section is definitely being the philosophical part. The philosophical essays, one of your main content comes from your GS4. All the GS4 ethics content that you will build on, that is going to be your basis and the perspective, data, everything for your philosophical essay. In the second part, which is going to be on certain themes, again, I would ask you to do something like this for your essay also. Then you will find main themes in essays. Say water, women, technology, international relations, and government federalism, polity, such questions, or in development, socio-economic development, economic development. These kind of things are the main 6 or 7 things that you can look for in essay. Have a very good detailed notes made on these, so that at least for these topics, you have a powerful introduction made before even going to the actual exam day. If they are useful, well and good. If not useful, at least you will have some topic or some background to start with and end with. So that has been my strategy for essay. And for GS4, every keyword, the ethics paper, there are 2-3 things that I did. Every keyword, I used them and I googled it, got the definition, examples, the definitions, the examples that I can give it from my own life. Indian thinkers, I tried. Suppose there is ethics and morale. Not just the Western thinkers, try to see what Swami Vivekananda must have said about morals and ethics, what Gandhiji must have told about morals and ethics. Try to have examples on Indian thinkers as well. And then for the section B part of GS4, I went on to have some planned strategies, like the stakeholder approach is one, the Socrates triple test factor is another one. So I think these are available online, or else I'll make my notes available on GS4. You can check on that as well. And then most importantly, I think in GS4, it is your general understanding and how you're applying that general understanding into a question paper. Say in engineering ethical questions, don't just write the problem statement and the option, but if at all you know any incident, say like the Chernobyl incident or the Bhopal gas tragedy incident, try to take inspiration from those examples and try to link up with the example which is given over there. Suppose there's a question on the industrial safety and again on the benefits, economic benefits. So in that case, you can easily counter that a small tragedy, industrial safety equipment failure in Bhopal gas tragedy has ended up in creating such an issue. And these are very important topics which will talk about your own attitude. So I think that is very important in GS4, that you bring up some element of creativity and some element of liveliness in your answers. So that has been my strategy for GS4 in brief. And the optional. Optional is your game. I would say for your rank, it is the most important one. Optional has to be properly done before your prelims. All your resources, at least write 2 tests and answers, previous year papers, go through your previous year papers. Everything has to be done before prelims. It is very important to do it. Between your prelims and mains, what you can do is join a nice test series, any good test series that you can rely on. Try to be more and more better, try to look at more and better ways in putting up your presentation in optional and enriching your answers from the test series answers. Look at previous year papers, that is very important. And secondly, toppers answers. So I used to look at previous year toppers from sociology and try to see if I'm reaching the mark, if I'm comfortable with my own answers, if they are up to the standard or not. Self-evaluation becomes very, very important in the whole journey of UPSC. So yeah, this has been my strategy for optional: previous year papers, toppers answers, enriched material. And because mine is sociology, I used to make sure that everything that comes in the newspaper, I think of a sociological angle. It's on a daily basis routine that I made. It is not before prelims or best between prelims and mains. Right from picking up optional of sociology, whenever I read a newspaper, something as an issue coming up in the newspaper, like the farm laws, farm bills, trying to look at it from a sociological angle becomes very important for sociology. So this has been my strategy for my mains preparation and prelims and my optional. If I have to sum up my main strategy, I would say the most important for me had been my newspaper, linking the newspaper with the static subject, interlinking topics, say in GS2, interlink the topics between international relations and technology and how the technology AI is used in education. There are examples, very well examples given in newspapers and government reports. You use them, they will definitely add value to your answers. Do not just rely on your class notes or do not just rely on anything that is just available to you freely in the market. Please put your own efforts in finding your own answers for all the questions in UPSC, previous year questions, and also the main focus areas that I was talking about. Please do make your own notes, like look at government reports, look at documentaries, then you get any Harvard professor classes if you have find time and all. So do those, they'll definitely help you in your answers. Then for command and current affairs, newspaper has been my go-through. Then after my mains, I started doing 2 newspapers just to have the language and the perspectives in detail. And then I started making notes on my newspaper just for mains. I did not make it for prelims because prelims is very large to make from current affairs from the newspaper, and also it becomes very difficult to revise the prelims notes from my own current affair material. So I relied on coaching institutes current affair material. For mains, I used to make it by myself, especially like I was talking about my focus points and the creative points that I can pick up, like the article that ma'am has written. So these points really helped me. And in your mains, another very important point that I did not touch upon is the presentation. So in your presentation, you have to be very, very precise. It also helps your time. On the day of exam, on the D-day, if you are unable to finish up the paper, at least make an India map, at least make a flow chart, finish up, at least attempt the question paper. Do not ever leave any question unattempted. The 20 questions is a must rule. please take it seriously, because this is going to make a huge difference. It's a do or die situation. In 3 hours you have to complete the paper. If you are unable to complete the paper or write something, at least make flowcharts and diagrams. That will really help you. Yes, this is how I worked on my main strategy in current affairs. And the clarity in expression. What I mean by clarity in expression is, we all know a lot of things what to be written in the paper, but it does not come out very well, or the evaluator sometimes in mock tests writes us back that you have missed out on that part. But most of the times we feel like, array, we have written it, but yet we have got a comment that you have not written this point. So that usually comes when our presentation is not nice. Whenever you are writing an example, box the example. If you are giving any diagram, please box the diagram, write a subheading for the diagram. For a 250 marker, make subheadings like the challenges, issues and solutions. For a 150 marker, I would always say go with pointers. It makes your answer more structured, more easy for the person to understand and for us to write as well. And mostly these have been my pointers of presentation, and my pointers on content have been mostly these. And the other part which I did not touch upon are the basic content that we can get from our class notes or any other coaching material also, that I don't think I have to tell. But this has been the main things which help me, which I think are little different from others, so I thought I should share it. And my timelines also have been these things. So thank you.